Ish.
What? Good evening, Glenn. And good evening, everyone, watching the Barry Beat podcast live from the Inside Scoop studios here at Main Street, Barry, Vermont. Of course, with us, we have the Raylene.
Oh, after last week, you're not calling me lovely anymore?
And the lovely Leah.
Because last week I was mean to you.
Yeah, because you were a poop.
I wasn't. It's just...
You were a poop.
We have to have a lighter side of this and not be so bleh all the time. And Thursday nights is supposed to be the lighter side and not bleh.
Whatever.
Yeah, you can't have it boring all the time.
What are you talking about? It's never boring here.
Monday nights can be. We're talking politics, for God's sakes.
I just had to fix the screen. That was pretty bad. Oh, look at that. She put her head on you.
She's resting.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
She is a good girl. She's a good girl. Yeah, so we're going to probably talk about stick your head in a bucket, Michael. What?
Who said that?
That was Glenn.
Ha!
He said, ever lovely Raylene.
That's right.
Sometimes. I don't know, Glenn. You don't have to deal with her as much as I do. Sometimes she's not lovely.
I admit that. Sometimes I'm not lovely at all. Sometimes I can be quite the bitch. But I usually have to be provoked. And I wasn't not being lovely. I was picking on you.
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you.
In my defense.
I'm the ever forgetful Michael, which you know that.
Yeah, I was
And
only
everybody
picking
knows that.
on you.
And I don't even know what you're talking about.
On Thursday night when the Jeep Miss was here, and I did make a couple of digs at you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
But, you know,
It's all good.
it was all in good humor.
So did you have a good weekend?
I did. It was an extremely busy weekend, but it was a good weekend. I moved my son on Sunday into his new place, and that was a lot of not fun because it was bitter, bitter cold, and it was snowing like a son of a bitch where he moved to, and so I'm not gonna lie, I was really not caring for that at all. The wind was whipping and it was snowing and it's so cold, and that is not the time to be lugging and tugging and moving stuff from the cars and trucks to. No.
No.
It was pretty sucky.
That would not be fun. I would not enjoy that.
If you're going to move, you should move like in the spring or in the fall.
Well,
early fall.
So that's when usually most sales of homes happen is during the springtime.
Yeah.
It's for that reason.
Well, makes sense.
Unless you're moving from Vermont to Florida, then it's probably
Right, then it
sometime
doesn't
in
matter.
winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we've got quite a bit of information that we can go through.
Hi, honey.
Which-
Hi.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about things that are just crazy and get ourselves into trouble.
Oh,
Leah.
you don't think that we're going to go through the night without talking about the batshit crazy stuff that's going on in the city, do you? You really don't think that we're going to slide through and not talk about that?
I'm hoping that we will try our best. Sorry, she's obviously a little antsy tonight.
I think it's because I just finished my turkey gobbler from the meltdown, and
Oh,
I
did
think
you?
she can still smell it, and she really would like to have a bite.
I bet you she would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which, by the way, was freaking amazing.
the turkey gobbler.
Oh my God. I have but now it's 2 meals for me. There's no way I could eat all of that in one sitting.
Yeah.
So it's 2 meals. See, she's licking my fingers. There's so much food, and it was so amazing. Yeah, you must try.
Nice.
I'm telling you. Oh,
I will have to do that.
to die for.
So regarding tomorrow night's council meeting, of course, we've got the 2 resolutions, and I'm going to read them. One is for outgoing Peter Anthony, who's served our city quite a few years. I mean, he was mayor back in 2005. I think he was it might have been 2006 because Tom ran against him in 2008. And that's when Tom took his place. And then, of course, he's been a justice of the peace quite a bit. And then he ran for state rep.
Is he still justice of the peace?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won. I think he came in second to me because I got the majority votes.
Oh, for justice of the peace as well?
I think so.
Good for you. I knew there were several that did not.
All the progressives did not.
All the progressives.
All the progressives did not make it into the city council.
Which really,
or not city council,
into
but the
the
JP.
justice of the peace.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned.
It does.
It says where we're at in the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it says a lot about the former mayor. I mean, he even didn't get in there. Like, seriously.
I mean, as you know, I could say lots of stuff, but I'm not going to say.
I know. And you're going to be over there gritting your teeth and cringing because I'll say it. Like, oh, God.
Let's go to
change
the
subject quick.
Let's go to the
quick.
resolution, which is whereas, and this is resolution recognizing the service of Representative Peter Anthony on the occasion of his retirement from the state legislature. Not from JP, though. Peter Anthony has served the city of Barre as mayor and representative to the Vermont House, and whereas Peter Anthony has served selflessly. I said that was bad. To better the lives of the residents of Barre and of the state of Vermont, and whereas every resident of Barre has benefited from Representative Anthony's dedication and hard work to create a more equitable city, and whereas his dedication and hard work can be seen in his sponsorship of bills as diverse as an act relating to child care funding and an act relating to removal of the trestle, and whereas he has been the lead sponsor of many bills directly related to the well-being of Barre residents, including flood resilience measures, and whereas he has held many positions within and beyond Barre City, including serving on the Board of Civil Authority and many local boards, and whereas Peter has and continues to volunteer to do the work the city benefits from, and whereas the city is created by the labor of many, and his strength lies in the dedication of individuals such as Peter Anthony, whose contributions to the city are immeasurable. Now therefore be it resolved by the Barre City Council that the city of Barre commends Peter Anthony for his valuable contribution to the city and state, and that the city council does hereby declare November 27th, which is Wednesday, as Peter Anthony Appreciation Day in gratitude for his service, and further it be resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in permanent records of the city of Barre, and that the copy be transmitted to Peter Anthony.
Nice.
So it's a resolution honoring. I mean, Peter Anthony stepped down from the state legislature. I mean, he retired from it.
I was going to say retiring because
Right.
probably he's done enough and he wants to at least spend some good years of his life without all of this chaos.
Craziness in his
yeah,
life.
like I'm sure that he just was. The first time I ever, so I had, seen him on Zoom or whatever, but the first time I ever was present in his presence for something that I thought was really critical was at the Trussell meeting
Yeah.
that was held up at the auditorium and in Alumni Hall. And boy, he had some really good points, and he knew exactly what he was talking about and who was who and what had happened, in this year and that year. And I really thought that whole removal of the trestle would be much more supported than it is.
Well, I mean, I think one thing that I don't even want to go down that road because it just should be removed. It's not
Right.
being used
Well,
for.
and I think that
It's just
that's
not being
where
used. So
he
why don't
was
we just
trying.
remove
He
it?
was certainly trying to encourage that to happen, and even he brought up the point that they kept bringing up this granite shed that was, and he was like, that's one business, and you have all of these people. They can find another way to service their business
Yeah.
than the train going to that one business. That's the only reason it's there.
Get rid of that trestle and keep the Berlin Bridge.
Yeah, that would be much more wise, I believe. But that was the first time I met him and in person, and he definitely brought a lot to the table.
Well, I mean, the man has lived in Barre City for
Yeah.
umpteen bazillion years,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
he has. I think he's lived here longer than I have. I believe. I don't know how far back his roots go, but they go back pretty far. If not like as a child.
Yeah, it was very apparent
Yeah.
that was the case.
Oh, and I believe he's also pro dredging.
Well,
Which seems to be a common theme amongst people that have lived here for a long time and remember us dredging and remember the rivers when they were a little bit more, less filled with stuff. But, who cares about history?
well, he does, and it was very obvious that he does care about
Yeah.
history, and it was very obvious. And I really enjoyed listening to him, and I felt like I learned a lot in that very short amount of time that we were all together. Yeah.
And they're also doing a resolution for Jonathan, who's not returning to the legislature. A resolution recognizing Jonathan Williams for his distinguished service to the city of Barre as state representative. Whereas Jonathan Williams was elected in November 2022 to the Vermont House of Representatives, and whereas he served with great distinction and with great benefit to the residents of Barre, and his tenure was marked by his outreach to residents and willingness to listen to his constituents and council members. And whereas Jonathan was also available to residents and city council as needed in the aftermath of the floods of 2023 and 2024, and whereas as state representative, he sponsored legislative acts that would speed the city's recovery from the flood, and whereas the efforts of Jonathan will leave indelible legacy on our recovery, will be felt for generations and helped the city to survive, and whereas Jonathan is committed to a more equitable and just city, and this is evident in the bills he sponsored as well as through his presence at community outreach events, and whereas Jonathan demonstrated repeatedly his commitment to the residents of Barre and of Vermont through his thoughtful advocacy. Now therefore be it resolved that Barre City Council commends Jonathan Williams for his service, for his commitment to the democratic ideals of our city, and that the City Council does hereby declare November 29th, which is Friday, 2024, as Jonathan Williams Appreciation Day, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in a permanent record of the City of Barre, and that a copy be transmitted to Jonathan Williams. So congratulations to both Peter Anthony and Jonathan Williams. And where the hell is my frickin' resolution?
I don't know. I was just going to ask that. I mean, you did 14 years. I don't remember.
On city council.
I don't remember a resolution for you. Maybe just everybody knows that at some point you'll be back, or that you
That
are
could be
back.
possible.
I mean, here you are again. Can't get rid of Michael.
Where the hell is my resolution?
Yeah. So
I
who
didn't
knows?
get one. As I was reading these resolutions, I'm like, now wait a minute. So it's not because I lost, right? Because, I mean, one of the people did lose. So that's not the reason why I didn't get it. So why didn't I get my resolution? I'm just saying. 14 years. I did 14 years on that council. 14 years. Mm-hmm. I'm only picking.
Well,
That Rosemary points it out. Yes, I am not done. Quite
that's what I
frankly,
said too, because you're not done.
yeah, we'll see what happens in the future.
Tom's not going to want to be mayor for forever.
Oh, did you guys see that? Raylene just whoa, she's got. Oh man,
What?
the camera just froze. So you. The camera just froze and you have this look on your face.
I can't see it, so.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, all of them froze. Oh, that's so sad. I don't even know what to do with that.
Well, I don't know either. Maybe you better trade cameras or something.
I see that. I'm gonna have to.
I don't see it frozen on my side.
It wasn't frozen on your side?
No, I see that we're still just trucking right along and everything's fine.
So right now, wave to it. And it's showing that it's waving?
Well, it's lagging. There's a little bit of a delay, so like I can't tell yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Because there's always a delay, like 35 seconds, I believe it is. 35 or 40 seconds, I think it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sure if we're not there that somebody will let us know.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
will let us know. You're having technical issues, Glenn says. So
We are.
That's unfortunate because, I was really hoping that we wouldn't have technical issues.
Well,
But, we got to do what you got to do, right?
right. Just keep going because
Just
we have a lot
keep
to discuss.
Swimming, just keep swimming. So we can then discuss the, well, actually, I can do this. Ready?
Sure.
Oh, maybe I can't. Gotta love it. Just gotta love it. And that one's freezing up too? No. There we go.
Who
Look
knows?
at that.
All right.
Good golly.
So now can we get going?
I suppose we could get
All right.
going.
So on to the next thing, Michael.
I know. Yeah, so it's under 802 scoop. That's nothing I can do about that. Good golly. I'm just having a rough night tonight, folks. I don't know what to say. Except for it's now working.
All right.
All right. So then we've got, so they're going to be actually hiring a legislative lobbyist. Mm-hmm. The city is. So $1,000 a month, and it smooth sailing to get that approved. Always get a little, I don't know, I get irritated by the idea of having a lobbyist because I'm like, isn't that what we're supposed to be?
Well, I was just going to ask that question myself.
And
you're just in there, and you wouldn't need to be paid $1,000 a month. But I'm sure if somebody wanted to pay you an extra $1,000 a month, you'd take it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Actually, just as a side note, there's actually a law against being a lobbyist for up to 1 year after you leave the legislature.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no laws about being lobbyist and then going into the position or working for...
Right, because if that were the case, then,
I knew I shouldn't have said anything about that. Approve the letter of attestation for the Barre Partnership for the Vibrancy Fund, which is something that the partnership is applying for $25,000, and they need a letter of attestation, or, a letter of support. The money's going to go to a marketing manager, $18,000 of it. And then, I can't remember the other two things. One of them is for banners, and the other is
Right.
for a Friday night laser show during the Heritage Festival.
Right. Yes.
So that's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see that.
I agree.
That'll be pretty awesome. Let's see. What else do we have on the city council agenda? And folks, you get all this previewed by signing up for my handy little email that I send out every week, which I kind of go through this as well. What are you smiling about?
Nothing. I'm just waiting for you to proceed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then we've got the volunteer appointments. So we've got two people that are volunteering. One for the Police Advisory Committee, who actually he ran for
A really
governor.
super important committee.
Yes. And I guess he moved to Barre about 6 months ago or something like that, because I think he lived. I don't know. I'd have to go look at the ballot, because he actually ran for governor, and so he's
And you have
applying
to live here a certain number of years to run for governor, correct?
in the state of Vermont. You
Yeah.
have to live here. So I think it's 4 years. So he's lived in the state of Vermont
Should
for
be
4
10.
years.
But that's just my opinion.
Or yeah. So, and then we've got the other person is running for, or applying for the Transportation Advisory
Lisa.
Committee. Lisa. You know Lisa?
Yes, Lisa wanted to do a podcast
Oh.
here quite a while ago. I trained her, and she was ready to go. And she did her logo. She had her banner done. Everything was ready to rock and roll. And then July 13th, 2023 happened, and she was literally supposed to go on air for the first time, or do the podcast for the first time, on July 14th, 2023. And so, yeah, then all that kind of stalled out. And when we came back to the studio, she had kind of, done other things. And her and I have since talked about it. And who knows, maybe she'll be willing to do that again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, she's up for the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Yes. They moved here from Pennsylvania, I think 3 years ago now, maybe 4. But
She lives in the town, right?
yeah, she does live in the town.
Okay.
Her and I are neighbors, actually.
Oh, nice. Then there's there's 2 resolutions. They're competing resolutions. One is to assign the ARPA funds, because the time is running out for us to allocate those large amount of ARPA
Right.
funds.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we can do is we can just dump it into this special projects, or we could dump it into payroll. And it's still floating in the general fund, but it's a way to, it's kind of like taking the standard deduction on your taxes instead of itemizing. So, because the amount's under $10 million. And so the 2 options that the council is going to consider is putting it into payroll, or the special projects. And that's what the 2 resolutions are.
And now the special projects were kind of like what everybody went through last year. Like there was to kind of rehab the walk-through next to Subway, I believe, and a few other things. Were those considered special projects?
No, I don't think so. I think I can.
Like people had some really good ideas of some things to do last year,
They did. Don't you lick.
but then because of the flooding, those were not priorities anymore, which they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I don't think it says what the plan is for the funds in here.
No, I didn't. I did not read that there
Yeah.
was anything in there that said.
No. So we'll see what the council decides on that. I'm thinking probably just put it into a special funds or special projects funds. But I'm not on city council and I didn't get a resolution.
Right. So not even going to discuss it.
Nope.
All right.
All right.
So
So
next-
then we've got an update on the elevation funding priorities. So one of the things, there was $900,000 that was allocated to boost people up, their houses up for flood resiliency, and they just provided an overview and an update on that. So, yeah, I suppose we could talk about it now.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do we want to talk about it?
Yeah. What's next?
All right. Well, the next thing is the Jedi. So, we do have the Jedi is the Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, Belonging Committee is asking to have a charge, which I didn't really see the charge in there too much, but there was some tasks that they were wanting to have assigned to them.
And those
basically.
are?
Those tasks are conduct regular meetings at least once a month and report to monthly committee meetings, study and become familiar with the BC Equity Impact Assessment Tool document and the city ordinances, identify ordinances that are needed, that need editing to address wherever there is potential unfairness or an unequal treatment, research other communities' ordinances.
Who decides what the unfairness and the poor treatment is? Who defines that?
The committee.
Oh, interesting.
Edit city ordinances for city council to consider and support changes to the city council. Support the changes to the city council. I think that means a report. Promote the use of the assessment tool, including phone call. Promote the use of the assessment tool, including review and making appropriate recommendations. Provide support and for and review of RFPs and other proposals from the city by reviewing them using the assessment tool, providing letters. That's what their charge is, or their task that they're asking, which it's not bad actually. I don't have a problem with those. You know, the whole purpose originally of the diversity and equity committee was to the screen is not frozen. The whole purpose of the diversity and equity committee as originally set out was for them to look at ordinances and charter changes or charter language to determine if there's any systemic racism in those ordinances or charter change, not worry about whether or not Christmas lights or holiday lights are Christmassy. Is that what you wanted to know?
What, if that was in their charge?
That was in their charge?
Well, I think,
I didn't watch the video, so I can't really opine on the meeting.
well, we haven't been able to watch the meeting yet because it hasn't been released yet. And it seems like whenever they talk about anything like this, it's like pulling teeth to get the meetings released. The meetings are normally released the next day. The last time that this was talked about, when I threw a tizzy and when committee member Spalding brought it up, and I had a bird about it and posted about it and talked about it and got upset about it, and then it took probably 5-6 days of begging and numerous emails to get that video released, and they seem to be able. And the week before they were supposed to have the meeting, and many people were in attendance via Zoom, but the meeting was canceled without really a lot of notice or posting so that people knew that, and then it was rescheduled, and I'm not so sure that the majority of people even knew that it had been rescheduled.
So I'm just going to tell you what my thoughts on this whole thing is, and the thing that I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go
No,
for
go ahead.
it. Here's the thing. Elections have consequences. When you elect people to a city council that has feelings like this, like don't like Christmas for kids because it's Christmas, that's what you get. That's what we get as a community. And it's upon us as representatives, or not representatives, but as constituents, to make sure that other people know this. I did my best to try to get Eddie Roos elected. I did my best to try to get myself elected. I could have probably done a little bit better with myself, but and those are the consequences, right? This is something that I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think the letter that was sent to the partnership is going to make any difference.
Well, I sure hope not, because really,
well, the lights are going up tomorrow, so unless the committee.
but the lighting isn't until the 30th, and so there's still time for them to make a difference or to cause problems or to say that it couldn't happen. There is still time to have that happen, and we've certainly seen them do things just like this that it just seemed to miraculously, cause trouble.
Yeah, I'll just tell you this.
Like the big flag and
Lozon,
shit like that.
Tom Lozon is the mayor of Barre City. That the lights are going on, and we're having a coin drop.
Well, unless he's out, he can't override what the councilors say, can he? If they're a unanimous vote.
No, he can't override. You're correct on that. He can't override it, but I'm just telling you.
Oh, but here's what I can tell you too: that one way or another, there'll be plenty of lights in this city, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
There will be plenty of lights, and what's really awesome is that this kind of controversy with Christmas for Kids has spurred a lot of people to donate online.
Which is wonderful.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah. And
because it's an amazing program that doesn't, there is no, how can I even, I don't even know. There's no, it doesn't matter what religion you practice. It doesn't matter who you are, who your parents are. None of that matters. It's for the kids, and that's exactly what it should be. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do. There's no questionnaire. There's none of that.
No. But I don't think there's going to be.
And I don't think that people have ever refused, because I've asked that question a couple of times, and no one has ever said no. I don't. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't want that, or we don't.
Yeah.
I think that people recognize it's just a really nice gesture from people that truly want to help bring a little bit of happiness to maybe some not so great situations.
I just think that, as the fact is that I think our society is moving beyond this for a lack of a better term, woke personality stuff.
There is no better, but that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
woke.
Yeah.
Just
And I think that,
insaneness.
and believe me, there's going to be lights, right? Like, and as I said, there's
Oh,
going to be
I know.
lights. There's, but there's no
One way
way.
or another, there's going to be plenty of lights. There's no worries there.
Hey, listen, at least we're not talking about
And they're
how,
holiday lights. It's Mary Berry holidays. It's not the Christmas parade. It's none of that.
yeah.
It
So
is
I did drop the Christmas for Kids link
The-
to the donor box for folks
Yeah,
to.
and there's
share.
the Berry Bucks, and there's Small Business Saturday, there's Flannel Friday. I mean, there are so many things that the partnership tries to do, not only for all of us to have some joy, not just during December, not just November, but August, any month of the year. She's always trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
And to just bring joy, that's what she's there for, and to bring us together as a community and
Yeah.
to help our small businesses survive and stay relevant. And she does a damn good job.
She does. Tracy does a very good job at that stuff. I mean,
And I understand that it's at the taxpayer's expense, but it's worth it. It's worth every dime.
absolutely.
What she does is worth it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, all you have to do is go to one pancake breakfast and one heritage festival, or when they light up the city, or some of the parades, or any of the other things that she does, the concerts in the park all summer, the farmers market. All you have to do is attend one of those things and enjoy one of those things, and you've got your money back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Tracy does a phenomenal job. And even, I mean, I emailed her on Saturday morning, I think, and asked her to create a donor box. And within 24 hours, she had the donor box up. It was all updated
And
and
she
everything.
did it for us last year.
Yep.
Because it's
She's done it since 2020, since the,
Yeah. What I don't understand, my biggest issue with a lot of this is that this committee and this certain select group of people continue to kind of like villainize you, me, and anybody like us that believe the things that we believe. But God forbid we say anything back. I mean, that's just, we ought to burn in hell for that because we're racist and we're this, that, and the other. But it always just blows my mind that they don't want Christmas for kids. They don't want this. They don't want that. They want inclusivity. They want. What are they doing to make that happen? What are they actually doing besides running at the gums?
so, and it's
Are
not,
any of them stepping up and saying, this is another religion that's here, and bringing these people forward and helping these people with these other religions and other needs? Are they helping them come forward and say, we would like to see this in our community as well? Because I've never heard anybody ask for anything other than what is already being done during any holiday or anything throughout the city. And I think that when there has been things that are new to the city, we have the Gay Pride Parade now. We have Pride Week now. Tracy 100% supports that and advertises it and does everything she can to help. And that was never discouraged. So I've never heard anybody else come forward. And I know that if they did, she would do everything in her power to make that happen as well. Because that's the kind of person she is.
yeah.
But it's like volunteering. It's like anything else. They villainize, but they villainize behind a keyboard sitting on their ass. They're not actually out there doing anything except for causing like all of this divisiveness all the time?
Well, I know that,
It's
like I said,
disgusting.
I mean, Christmas for Kids is, we've raised $1,307 online, and I did drop the link, and I hope people share the link and go to it. And
It's amazing.
yeah, it's a really good charity, and it's not a religious charity, as we discussed 2 weeks ago, I think it
It's
was.
not
You know, it's the Barre Juvenile Officers Association.
a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit that the treasurer, or not treasurers, but the trustees, or the people in charge are Larry Eastman, I think Jason Fleury and Bonnie. Oh man, I can't remember her name. Bonnie. You can't remember her name either.
Nope. Bonnie.
Bonnie. She used to work at the police department doing our billing, and yeah, so they're the trustees of that organization, and then the money goes through there, and then it's dispersed out to, you know, the term that's just been known as Christmas for Kids, because it's just been what everybody's called it since the beginning.
Yeah.
But so, folks, if you're watching, I mean, keep on watching, but click the link afterwards and go to Christmas for Kids and donate some money, or stop by the coin drop, which is in 2 weeks. No, wait, 1 week from Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say 1
1
week.
week from Saturday.
Yeah. The 7th.
And and stop down and drop off some money there.
And do all the crossing your fingers and every toe you have to make sure that we have nice weather.
Oh, please, by all that is sacred and holy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Please.
please, nice weather.
Please, nice weather.
All right. So we're not going to have, I'm assuming we're not going to have a weekly wrap this week because it's Thursday.
No, we won't have it because it's Thursday, unless you want to do it on Wednesday or Friday.
No.
No. So
No.
this will be the only time for this week. And then the girls will be here Wednesday night. But I think, that's pretty much it. Vermont Daily Chronicle may be in here on Friday.
Okay.
Guy hasn't decided yet. I told him as long as he lets me know by 10 a.m. on Friday that if he would like to do a show on Friday, then we will.
Okay.
But if he, he may not.
And I can tech you through any type of issues with Zoom.
Yeah, well, I think that we're going to try just to use the phone. So I'm going to need just the dongle.
The
thing
dongle?
that I could not find the other night.
You couldn't find the dongle?
No, I looked in all the different boxes and I couldn't find it.
It was...
So you
Where's the
showed it to
dongle?
me. I don't know. You showed it to me and told me you brought one, but then it was not in there.
What'd you do with the dongle?
I did not touch it. You had it. I did not touch it. I went to find it and I couldn't find it. That's it. All right. So
No, that's actually not it now that I'm thinking about it.
I didn't think so. But you'll have to show me how to work that so that we can get phone-ins, because Guy is thinking that he may do something special being it Thanksgiving weekend. And
Did you
so
look in here?
it may be a little bit different. I did not. And I'm not going to do it right now while people are listening to us, though. For God's sakes
I know.
alive. His
I'm
attention
terrible.
span is like,
Terrible.
forget it.
Terrible.
It's worse than somebody being on psychedelic mushrooms, I'm telling you. Did you hear that show this morning?
This is
So-
the dongle, by the way.
Okay.
It was
So
there.
Dr. Rick Barnett was actually on Aired Out this morning, and it was an amazing show. Rick is one of my most favorite people in ever. He just is. The man is extremely intelligent, and I have a ton of respect for him. And he'll be joining me sometime really soon too, to talk about lots of things that didn't get touched on this morning. But it's just a really good show. So anybody that didn't watch it, you really should watch it, because a lot of information there. And you should watch it, please, because Dr. Barnett has been trying for a long time to get the use of psychedelics used for mental health care and some other issues as well, addiction being one of them. And then also he has fought for many, many years to have the right to prescribe. And we all know where I stand on that, I say I don't want my PC prescribing my chemo, and I'd rather they didn't prescribe my psych meds either. That's something that he should be doing. And sure, can your PC oversee it once you're on something like that? Yeah, but are they really the experts to determine in a 15-minute appointment, if you're lucky, what you need to be well? Probably not. And he actually gave an instance where someone saw their primary care provider for some troubles they were having, and in a 15-minute appointment, they were diagnosed with some form of bipolar and prescribed lithium. Like that's holy shit, right there. And so, I would love to see him get much more support, Michael, than he ever has before this year.
You know me and how much I love drugs.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different. I mean, this is you have to understand.
Approach it with an open mind.
Right, you have to understand the uses of it and what they do and how they microdose. It's certainly anything that you take over the counter that's FDA approved that they would give you for an antidepressant or anything else is much worse for your body than microdosing with mushrooms. When you microdose with mushrooms, it doesn't tell you, but you may get severe hemorrhaging and you could die, and you need to be careful of your liver, your kidneys, your this, your that, and your other thing, because your, guts are going to turn green, and it doesn't have a list a mile long of other things that are going to destroy you.
But does it have a list of purple elephants?
No, it's not like that.
I don't know anything about microdosing or mushrooms.
Right, and so I'm just asking you to keep
I will.
keep an open mind. And
I will keep an open mind.
It's because he really could use some support, and I think that it would be really great if you did that this year. Because enough is enough. I mean, he's been fighting even the right to prescribe. I mean,
I'll just say that from a perspective of, we already allow marijuana, so why are we not allowing mushrooms?
But even even more so than.
But I don't support marijuana either.
Right,
so.
But even more so than his right to is his right to prescribe. He should have the right to prescribe. He's a doctor. He's just a doctor of mental health.
And in that, okay, so in that context, we're not talking about, for recreational use. We're talking about for medical use.
Exactly.
And
we're talking about any drug. We're not talking about just prescribing mushrooms. We're talking that he would be able to write a script for an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication, medications that are on the market that
is
primary
he a psychologist, you said?
He is yes.
Psychologist.
And yes.
Because a psychiatrist can write medication.
They can?
Psychiatrists can, psychologists cannot.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive that's the case. Somebody can correct me in the comments.
Well, he cannot, and he certainly should be able to, above a, I mean, that's what he does. It's infuriating. Are you looking?
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be good. Who's having pie for Thanksgiving and what kinds are you having? I want to know. I'm being serious when I'm asking this question. Because I haven't decided yet what to make.
Yeah, they're qualified. Psychiatrists are qualified for prescribing medications,
In Vermont?
including controlled substances.
In Vermont?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. If
Well,
they can't.
there are several things that happen in Vermont that don't make any sense. I mean,
Yeah, in Vermont, psychiatrists are medical doctors who diagnose and treatment mental. They are authorized to prescribe medication.
yeah, so just,
So
okay.
he's a psychologist.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he should also be allowed to. Just saying.
Well,
Yeah. And especially him. He's a damn good one.
all right. So
Did anybody answer about pies?
nobody answered.
They
about
didn't
pies.
on my side either. That's kind of mean.
I have a pie.
Nobody's
sitting on my
talking
porch
to us
right now.
today.
Well, there's quite a few people that are talking. I got, Judy copy. Oh, Judy said apple pumpkin and Mar Callender's chocolate. I know that my pie, so yesterday at our church we had a pie auction, and I may or may not have dumped like $120 into 2 pies. But they're
For a good
pies.
cause.
It's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. It's for a youth group.
And what kind did you get?
I got, the most expensive pie was done by our pastor's wife that I paid for. There were, one pie went up to like $140. Yeah, I was like, no, that's a little too high for me.
But what
But
kind?
it was a pecan pie.
Oh, that's
and
my favorite.
It's my favorite too. One of my favorites. And then, so I was like, $90. Okay, fine. I'll pay the $90 for the pie. Blah, blah, blah. Good cause. And then the peanut butter pie came up. And I'm like, oh.
And you
the
just
peanut
couldn't
butter
help
pie.
it?
I couldn't resist. That was a 50.
So that's what you're bringing to Thanksgiving dinner? You're bringing the pies? The very expensive pies? Or are you keeping them all to yourself?
I'm eating those pies.
You're not keeping...
Blah, 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 blah. There's a reason why I'm fat, and that's the reason why.
Well, pecan pie is my absolute favorite.
You're not getting any. It's almost gone.
Well, no, because that's a given. That one will definitely get made. But then sweet potato pie.
Oh, sweet. There was a sweet potato pie.
I don't like the marshmallow on the top.
Nope, there
Just
wasn't any marshmallow
real
on it.
Sweet potato pie with the crumb topping is amazing.
I know, Mom. It's a lot of sugar.
It is a lot of sugar, and you're diabetic, and you're not supposed to eat a lot of sugar.
Do you want the last piece of pie?
I only eat slivers of the pecan pie.
Because I'd let you take the
But
last
it really
piece of
is
pie.
my favorite. And my favorite ice cream is butter pecan from Legendary.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the best. But anyways, I was just curious because I guess that one of the more populars now is the maple pie, the maple cream pie.
There was one of those that went, I think that's the one that went for like $130.
Yeah, I hear that like everybody rave over that. And I've never tried that.
I don't think I've had one either.
But yeah.
So let's just talk about the upcoming events tonight or this week. Before we go, we got about 4 more
Okay,
minutes.
let me switch the page so I can see.
So
they are.
let's talk about Mary Berry holidays. Of course, we've got, and that all starts on Saturday night, and it's holiday parade at 5:15 p.m. and that's Lenny's to City Hall Park, and of course, then once they get to City Hall Park, Santa and Mrs. Claus will then flick the lights and turn on the city lights so that all the holiday lights will be in full force and we can enjoy hot cocoa. And it said apple crisp, but I think you have to pay for the apple crisp. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure you have to pay for the apple crisp, so bring some cash. And they also have some other goodies, I believe, that you can buy while down there.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
The big
you'll
craft
have
fair.
Dasher and Donner are going to be at City Hall Park. So, oh no, I'm sorry, not Donner. It's Dasher and Cupid.
Oh, Cupid.
Cupid will be there, not Dasher and Donner. Cupid
Nice.
will be there, and that's from Vermont Reindeer Farm. And yes, of course, the craft fair at the Barre Auditorium.
And there are several craft fairs.
Yep.
Right now, my phone is being mean, and it's
That's
telling
okay.
me that I'm in Canada, and I'm not.
Sweet.
Because it's still stuck. When I click local stuff or events, it goes right to everything happening in Canada.
So throughout the entire day, you can shop and dine and enjoy a horse-drawn sleigh ride or a carriage ride. And then, of course, you've got the Mary Berry Crafts Fair at the Barre Auditorium. So make sure that are we gonna, oh, well, our equipment is all back here, so we can't, I mean, we probably could go live out front.
Why can't we? I just was live at the Veterans
Oh,
Place.
that's right.
We take one camera on
We
my
could take the-
laptop right out front and
That's true.
plug our mics in and
Or we
have
could do
at
it from City Hall Park.
Yeah, we could go wherever you want.
Okay, what's the weather going to be like? Do you know what the weather is?
We just got the new off-site camera. We got all that stuff. We're good.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what the weather's going to be like. Are you excited? It's going to be 36 degrees. It's going to be a little chilly.
Oh, of course.
But we could still,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be rainy, right?
Right.
Which
So
is
there's
good.
also Saturday, there is the craft fair at the Masonic Temple. There's the craft fair at the Old Labor Hall. That goes November 30th through December 1st. And then a small business Saturday in Montpelier as well as
Yep.
Barre. And then, of course, the craft fair here in Barre. This Thursday is the Gobble Wobble. Have you ever entered the Gobble Wobble?
I have not.
You're always telling me that you're very good at wobbling, so I just thought I'd ask.
Waddling.
Oh, waddling. Okay. Okay.
Waddle,
Now
waddle.
I get it.
Waddle, waddle.
There's some big events going on for the Granite City Blast over at Wilkins. And they'll be serving hot dogs over there. There's a paint and sip happening Saturday at 4 in the Blanchard block in the old Delicate Decadence space.
Oh.
That's actually a really pretty place to do that. That's pretty cool. Story time in Santa at 14 North Main Street, Suite 2 in Barre. So that must be downstairs at the bookstore, maybe? Yes. So story time in Santa. So that will happen at 10:30 on Saturday. I think she does that every year at the bookstore.
I think so. Cindy.
Yeah,
Cindy.
Cindy. Yeah,
Wow, not Cindy. Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Right? Yeah, it's Cynthia Dupree.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really bad, and I hope she's not listening.
Then there is a holiday sing-along, and that's
I was right.
at the...
Cynthia Dupree.
Okay.
Just in case you wanted to know.
All right. Good Lord.
I know. It's terrible.
The holiday sing-along at the Grange in Berlin. So there's that. There's so much stuff in here. The free meal at Gusto's. There's a free meal also that the American Legion is doing, and the meal itself, because the American Legion's kitchen was destroyed, is happening over at Enough Ministries, and you do have to call and get your name on that list. They just want to make sure they have enough food. So they're asking that people please reserve, and if you know of others that need to be, that you put their name on the list as well. But 802-479-9058 is the number to call, the American Legion, and reserve that free Thanksgiving meal. So Gusso's is doing one, American Legion is doing one, the VFW on Route 302 is doing one, and I believe a couple of the other churches as well. So lots of ways to enjoy Thanksgiving. And if maybe you're just somebody who doesn't have family here and you don't want to be by yourself on Thanksgiving, by all means, go out and enjoy this meal with your neighbors and in the community around you. So yeah, there's Flannel Friday, that's in Montpelier, Small Business Saturday here as well, all kinds of stuff. And we'll make sure that we are blasting that out there constant on the scoop so that you know what's happening. Yeah. You can make some plans, but no matter what, enjoy have an amazing Thanksgiving dinner. Have an amazing
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving with your family and your friends and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Certainly want to wish everybody, we'll wrap it up now, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on Saturday, hopefully, at the Holiday Light Up the City event. Yeah. And with that, we'll wish you adieu. Adieu.